Week 11 has ended, which means it's time for the A&A show featuring Andrew Santangelo
and Austin Paul.
We'll recap the Week 11 NFL scores and break down the upcoming games in Week 12 as we give our picks later in the week. To start off the show, we'll recap the Week 11 scores, starting off with the Carolina Panthers beating the Saints on Thursday Night Football. The Buffalo Bills beat the Cincinnati Bengals. Pittsburgh Steelers blow out the Browns. The Cowboys over the Ravens. The Detroit Lions come back to beat the Jaguars. The Colts beat the Titans. The Buccaneers upset the Chiefs. The Vikings over the Cardinals. The Giants over the Bears. The Dolphins beat the Rams. The Seahawks over the Eagles. The Patriots beat the 49ers. And the Redskins blow out the Packers on Sunday Night Football. And then on Monday Night Football, you had the Raiders over the Texans. So to start off the show, we'll talk about the Cowboys over the Ravens game. As once again, the Cowboys win their 9th straight game and looked very impressive behind Dak Prescott's 300 yards and Ezekiel Elliott's continued impressive rookie seasons. And they got Dez Bryant back involved in this one.
Yeah, I mean, it was great to see him get 2 touchdowns, capitalizing on the last game where he got a touchdown against the Steelers. So it was good to see him be very productive this game. He played good. It was just really good to see him get more involved because whenever he's on a roll, everyone is rolling just because, whenever he's rolling, he's going to get double coverage. He's going to leave opportunities for like Cole Beasley. Bryce Butler made a couple plays. Terrence Williams and Jason Wynn, all of them are going to make plays if, Dez Bryant's playing good and getting a lot of attention from the defense. So just him being really productive at this point is really going to help out the Cowboys just all around on both offense and even defense, just because the momentum carries over both sides of the ball. So that productiveness is really helping out, I think, so far this season.
Yeah, for the Cowboys, I think to get that, Dez Bryant struggled early in the season, so to get him back involved, it only makes them more dangerous. And then, as far as the defense goes, they continue to impress people. 17 points, another good performance from their case. As far as everyone seems to be stepping up, keeping within what they're supposed to do, and it's just all clicking for the Cowboys. Chemistry's there and everything. And some people were saying they were going to lose this game because they had the whole thing with Tony Romo's press conference, and they thought that'd be a distraction early in the week. But the Cowboys didn't show any of those signs as they came right into this game, and played pretty well and beat the Ravens. As far as the Ravens go, they Joe Flacco had a pretty decent game, 269 yards and a touchdown. Steve Smith was the leading wide receiver in this one over Mike Wallace. And then, even from the Cowboys, Cole Beasley got involved again, so he continues to have a successful season. So, in all areas, I don't see any weakness. Every team has a weakness, but right now the Cowboys don't show any signs of letting up and continue their argument for the best team, and not only the NFC, but maybe the NFL.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if they make the playoffs. I'm assuming they do. What happens with the defense? Because, in the playoffs, you're going to face, a team like maybe a Seattle, maybe a team like the Falcons in the playoffs. If there was a weakness with this team, it would be the defense, obviously, just because they have no big name guys out there. Just a bunch of, well-known people. If you do keep up with football, they're not really household names. But you're going to recognize some of the names like Sean Lee, Byron Jones, maybe Brandon Carr. They just have like a legit star, except for maybe Sean Lee. And I think that's like where if something goes bad, it's going to be because of the defense. But they've played good. They've scored enough points, every game to win, except for the first one, obviously. Their defense does the best they can, but the offense, plays fantastic. And whenever they go up against good teams like the Steelers, high-scoring game right there. The Packers game was kind of high-scoring. Bengals even scored 28 points through 3 quarters. That was pretty impressive. It's all gonna come out of defense to hold team under 30 points because the Cowboys can easily put up 30 points on any team. It looks like at this point. So the offense rolling. Defenses, doing their part, doing what they need to do to help the Cowboys win. And that's pretty cool. But the Cowboys scored 27 points on the number 1 ranked defense in the league according to statistics. So they've done that twice now. Whenever they played the Packers, week 4, I think is what it was. I mean, they put up like 30 points on them, and this one they almost put up 30 on the Ravens, and those are two top defenses at the time that they played. So I mean, the offense is clearly probably the best in the league. I mean, I would have to say. I mean, I don't know how you can say they're not right now with the offensive line doing what they're doing every game, just protecting Dak Prescott, giving Elliott massive running lanes. I mean, this offense just clicking, and the defense is rallying behind that. They get momentum. Whenever the offense scores a touchdown, defense goes out there and they're all pumped, and I mean they're ready to go. So, and Cowboys are just playing great at the right time. Play great all season, 9-1. So I mean, I'm interested to see how far this win streak can go.
Yeah, we'll see going forward, but I mean, like you said, I mean the Ravens have a good defense. I wouldn't consider the Packers the top defense in the league.
Well, at the time, they were considered one of the best. So, or rushing defense wise, they were.
But I mean, as far as that goes, but like I said last week, I still think the team to beat in the NFC would be the Seahawks, just because I think they're more complete overall talent. But I mean, Cowboys have a lot to be impressed with. I mean, Jason Witten continues to play well at his age, so he doesn't seem to be declining too much. But I was just surprised. Ravens left in this game. They left a lot of open receivers in this game, and just saw it. Dez Bryant was such a big mismatch for, I don't know who was exactly covering him. I can really tell.
Yeah.
Whatever the corner was on Dez Bryant, I mean, it was it was the size and everything. I mean, Dez Bryant just had his way the entire game. And, I mean, Dak Prescott continued to just find him throughout the game. I mean, Prescott only had 9 incompletions as well. So, I mean, you can't ask for – and another big thing I noticed with the Cowboys watching that game was Cowboys rarely turn the ball over. And I think that's one of the biggest things for them. And it keeps the defense off the field, which allows them to come back on the field after getting a big rest, like you said earlier. So I think that's a major key for them as well.
Yeah, I mean, they don't have very many turnovers all year. I mean, if you look at it, Dak Prescott's only thrown 2 interceptions, I think, all year.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, Elliott, he had, the couple fumbles at the beginning of the year, but, I mean, he hasn't fumbled since. So I think Cowboys really only have, maybe 4 or 5 turnovers at the most, which, I mean, is very, very impressive. I mean, if you minimize turnovers, then you're going to win a lot of games. Because, I mean, you're giving an offense more chance, keeping your defense well rested on the sideline. And I just think that, the all-around, ability to not fumble the ball and throw an interception is very good for the Cowboys. And I mean, it obviously helps. I mean, one of the best lines in the league gives Dak Prescott more time to be more comfortable in the pocket and more big playability with the amount of time that he has. So I mean, that really helps out the offense part. But I mean, Cowboys are just rolling right now. Dak Prescott has most completions of the season, 27, and I mean, Elliott broke Tony Dorsett's Cowboys rookie franchise running record. I think it was 107. I mean, Elliott broke it on the first drive of the game. I think now he has 1,100, close to that at least, on the season. So first in the league. Very very good for a rookie. But I mean, it helps having the offensive line, like I've said before. But I mean, Steve Smith also, did a great accomplishment in this game. 14th player of all time to have 1,000 receptions in her career. Joins 13 other players. Jason Witten's one of them. Jerry Rice, Tony Gonzalez, just some other names in there. So I mean that's pretty good, feat for him. Do you think Steve Smith's a Hall of Famer at this point, or?
I think he will be. I don't think he's first ballot.
No, for
but
sure.
I think eventually he would get in.
I think that if he won a Super Bowl, then he would definitely be definitely a Hall of Famer. But I mean at this point, it's just hard to say, just because hasn't. Yeah, he's a fantastic receiver, but just I don't know, he's not that well liked, I think.
Yeah, and I mean, I think you did see that, especially in this past Hall of Fame ballot. I think that's one of the reasons Terrell Owens didn't get into the Hall of Fame this year, is because of his overall public image, and I think that hurt him. So, and I think you're right with the Steve Smith case.
Yeah, just because he's so open mouth. I mean, he just never stopped talking. I mean, Anthony Brown, rookie cornerback for the Cowboys, came out after the game and said they lost all respect for Steve Smith just because he kept talking after the play was over, and after every play. So I mean, it's just little things like that just hurt your public image, like what you said. So I mean because of that, he may not even make it to the Hall of Fame just because of that. So it would be pretty sad for his talent.
Yeah, I won't keep him out of the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
But I mean, like you said, another big thing would be a Super Bowl ring.
Yeah.
Which I don't think he'd win on the Ravens.
Yeah, I don't think so. He'd have to go to a team maybe the Patriots at this point. I mean,
just any contender. Like,
yeah, I mean, any contender. I mean, he would help out. I mean, he's already 37 right now. I mean, you can't think that he has, 2 more good years left. So I mean, he's in his 16th season out of Utah. Yeah, he's good, but he's 37. It's now or never. Clearly, I mean, I don't know what his contract is like, but I mean, if he's a free agent after this season, he has to go to a contender if he wants to. If he wants to win a Super Bowl, so you can have to see what happens to that situation. But I mean, I don't really know what his contract is right now. But Ravens, they're still tied for the division lead right now with the Steelers. So I mean, they still have one more head-to-head, I think. You know, see what happens to that. I mean, that one could ultimately decide who wins the division. But I mean, at this point, do you think the Ravens or the Steelers are going to get into the playoffs?
I really want to say Steelers, but the Steelers seem to be a little banged up. I don't think Ben Roethlisberger is completely healthy yet. I think the defense is a little beat up as well. But I think if I had to pick, I'd pick Steelers right now. I think they would win the head-to-head matchup, which would ultimately give them the division.
Yeah. And it's just so hard to pick against their offense. Le'Veon Bell, Antonio Brown, big man. I mean, it's just so hard to pick against them.
Especially with the Ravens already beating them once, I think, going into Pittsburgh, especially in that kind of game where it would decide the division at Pittsburgh. I think Pittsburgh would find a way to steal it.
Yeah, I would have to agree.
I think, and then also for the Ravens, I mean, I think a big thing if they want to go somewhere, I think the defense is there. I think they need to get Terrence West more. I mean, he had only 8 carries in this game, so I would want to see, from a Ravens fan standpoint, see the running game get more involved. Only 14 carries to running backs. I think that's a major issue for them.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know why they did that. They were pretty productive running the ball on the Cowboys. I mean, Terrence West had 8 carries, 42 yards, and Kenneth Dixon, the rookie, had 6 carries, 40 yards. So the production was there on the first couple of drives. They were just running it all over the Cowboys, and they just went away from it.
And it wasn't like they got behind too big. No, they had to take out the running game.
That's
why I was confused.
At halftime it was 10-10. So I mean, it's not like the Cowboys were blowing them out at halftime. I mean, it was not really a blowout all game. I just don't really understand why they went, or if not, I think that they could have had a better shot. They would have just kept running because Cowboys defense can also have to run all game. So it's kind of a questionable call right there by Jim Harbaugh, or John. Yeah, John Harbaugh. Yeah. So I thought that was a pretty curious situation right there for them. But Cowboys just beat them. Ravens played good. They just need him more on offense. I think more production from the wide receivers besides decent. Mike Wallace did good, but you expect more from him. And also Dennis Pitta, you expect more from him. So and also the running game, you obviously expect more. Just only 82 yards from the running back. So going to see how they improve upon that. In the upcoming game.
Yeah, and then another big thing real quick is the who do you give Rookie of the Year to, Prescott or Elliott? Because I think those are obviously the two front runners. So as a Cowboys fan, which one would you give it to?
I don't know. They're both clearly deserving of it. They're both going to be 1 and 2 whenever it's all said and done. Carson's probably number 3. But at this point, probably Elliott, just because he leads the league in rush right now for a rookie. Honestly, he could win NFL MVP and Rookie of the Year, just because of his production, because he's leading the league in rushing yards. Like I said, pretty impressive for a rookie. Dak Prescott, if he won, I would not be surprised at all either. He only has 1 or 2 turnovers on the year, or I guess 3 or 4, something like that. He's playing fantastic. So is Zeke. You can't go wrong with either one being Rookie of the Year. But MVP of the season. I saw this thing where just the MVP of the season should be Dallas offensive line. I would have to agree with that too. Without the offensive line, this team would not be 9-1. Let's be honest, it'd probably. They'd have a couple less losses. I'm not sure how much less, but they could honestly only have 6 wins. Honestly, if they didn't have as good as offensive line as what they have. So the offensive line is, fantastic, best in the league. Probably one of the best groups of all time. Probably top 10, I would say at this point. But I mean, either one you can't go wrong with for rookie of the year. But I mean, I think that if Zeke wins rookie of the year, then he'll win MVP. But if Dak Prescott wins rookie of the year, then he won't win MVP of the league. So I mean, that's just my thought process on that. So I mean, it's gonna be interesting to see. Hopefully they both stay healthy. Um, healthy enough to play the rest of the season and into the playoffs, and see who ultimately gets the rookie of the year honors.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be interesting to see going forward. Right now, I'd probably agree with you, go Elliott. But I don't think either one wins MVP right now.
Oh, MVP. Yeah.
But, I mean, you could make the case that Prescott deserves it more because of how good the offensive line is. So some people might say Prescott's performance is more impressive just because of Elliott having that offensive line to run behind.
I mean, you obviously can't go wrong with either one of them. I mean, they're both breaking records this season for rookies. So I mean, you can't take anything away from either of them. I mean, they're both deserving. I mean, they should even do rookie of the year honors. I mean, I doubt they'll do that, but I'm just saying, if they went that route, they could. But I mean, they're both playing fantastic. Both are helping the Cowboys to be 9-1 right now. So,
not without a doubt.
Yeah. I mean, who knows what the Cowboys would be like if Tony Romo did stay healthy and never got hurt in the preseason? I mean, who knows what the team would be right now? I mean, they could be 10-0. They could be 5-5. I mean, we don't know that. So I mean, Dak Prescott's had a huge impact on the team, and I mean that's why Cowboys are 9-1 right now, just because of Prescott and Elliott. So it's going to be really interesting to see what happens the rest of the season. 6 more games left. So I'm really excited to see what happens.
Yeah, it should be a fun end of the year, especially with all the division games still there.
Yeah, I mean even Giants are in it now. I mean they're only 2 games behind the Cowboys. Mm-hmm. So I mean if they win the head-to-head, they just got to win one more game. Cowboys got to lose one more game, and all of a sudden they're tied up. So, and the Cowboys have a pretty difficult matchup coming up on Thanksgiving against the Redskins. So Cowboys could easily lose that one just because Redskins on a roll right now. So, but I think we're going to move on to the Buffalo-Cincinnati game. I mean, Cincinnati's a lot of their stars got her. Giovanni Bernard tore his ACL in the game, and then probably the bigger loss is AJ Green. I think it's a partial torn hamstring. Does not require surgery, but he's still going to be out quite a few weeks. So I mean that decimates their offense because other than him, their leading receiver was Tyler Boyd. So I mean, I just don't see them doing anything now. They're 3-6 at this point. I didn't expect them to make the playoffs, a couple weeks ago. But this just, makes it even worse for them. I mean, honestly, if I were them, I'd just rest AJ Green the rest of the year. Just, gonna get a good draft pick most likely, probably top 10 pick. You got to get an offensive lineman, get another wide receiving weapon. So, I mean, it's obviously a huge loss for them. AJ Green, top 5 receiver in the NFL. I mean, it hurts to see him go. So I mean, it's gonna be really interesting to see what they do at wide receiver now. But Buffalo played great this game. They also lost LaShawn McCoy, I think, in the first quarter. He got hurt. Gillislee came in for him the rest of the game. So Buffalo's playing pretty good. They're 5-5 at this point. Maybe be able to contend for a wild card. Patriots probably gonna win that division. I think they're 8-2 now. And so, they're probably going to win that division. So, Bills have a chance for a wild card, I think. So, it's going to be interesting to see what happens to that situation.
Yeah, Bills sit 2 games back behind the Denver Broncos for that last wild card spot.
So, it's going to be difficult, but,
Yeah, Bills got to climb over the Colts, Steelers, and Dolphins, and the Broncos to make the playoffs. So, it'll be tough, but, you see a division opponent there, so that's obviously doable. Especially when it's only within a game. And 2 games is doable, especially with how good Denver's division is. They'll have games against the Chiefs, the Raiders. They have 2 games against the Chiefs, 1 against the Raiders and the Patriots. So the games are there for the Broncos to lose. And then Bills have a more favorable division, so they'll have more favorable games as well. With they got the Browns, Dolphins, and Jets. And the Jaguars right there. And then they have 2 tough games against the Raiders and Steelers. So honestly, the Bills have the more favorable schedule. So we can see how that plays out. But like you said, AJ Green, I think I did hear he most likely is out for season. I think there was conflicting reports on that.
Yeah, but
Okay.
I mean,
So-
might as well just rest them the whole year.
Yeah, I mean,
It's not going to hurt you. I mean, you're 3-6. You're probably not going to make the playoffs unless. Well, I guess only 2 games behind statistically, or I
Maybe
guess a
3
game and a
games.
half, right?
they'd be 3 games. They have 6 losses, so it'd be 3 games in the loss column. Because they're tied, they'd be 2.5 out.
Yeah,
Oh, then they'd be 3.5 out because they're 4 back in the loss column.
yeah,
So I think, I mean, you can pretty much, I think you can end the Bengals season. Just
yeah. I
'cause
mean, yeah, with
you
just those injuries.
you have to climb over 7 teams just to make the playoffs.
Well, no, I mean they could win their division.
Oh yeah, so back to your point. So they'd be a game and a half out.
Yeah, but I mean, I just don't see it though without
Especially
AJ Green.
now without AJ Green, you lost
Yeah.
Sanu in the offseason. So, like you said, the leading receiver is Boyd, and then their second leading receiver in this game was Giovanni Bernard, who also went down with an injury. So right there, you lost. I mean, Green and
Pretty
Bernard,
key components.
key parts of that offense is right.
So I mean, if I were them and they were, I mean, unless they go on a big run, win a few games in a row, put themselves in contention to win the division, then you bring back Green. But if not, then just leave him on the sideline. I mean, keep him for next year. You don't want to risk, a torn hamstring or a completely torn one that requires surgery because I mean that could honestly just ruin his career. I mean, I just don't risk it unless you have a good chance of making the playoffs in a few weeks. So that's just what I'm thinking from that situation.
No, I see where you're coming from. I think I agree with you, and we'll see how the coaching staff handles it. We'll see where the coaching staff actually is going forward. How long Marvin Lewis will keep his job.
Yeah, we were talking about that last week. I mean, they have so much talent and they're losing all these games. And we said last week it could be just personnel issues, coaching issues. So I mean, it's gonna be interesting what they do with that. I mean, you just expect more from this team, honestly, with the amount of talent that they have. Before the injuries.
And honestly, I saw this on ESPN First Take this morning. They were talking about the same situation with Marvin Lewis and stuff, and they actually brought up the point. How good of a coach is Marvin Lewis? Because if you look at it, the years the Bengals were successful, they had Mike Zimmer as their defensive coordinator before he left, and then once he left, the defense got worse. And then you also had Hugh Jackson at offensive coordinator for all those years, and now that those two are gone, now you see them struggling. So was the team like good because of that coaching staff that they just lost, or was it actually Marvin Lewis? Because I mean, he's been at the team for 14 years and hasn't won one playoff game. I just thought that was an interesting point they brought up.
Yeah, that's a very good point. But it could be Marvin Lewis. I mean, coaches get blamed for a lot. So, honestly, if it was his fault, not be all that surprised because he hasn't, done great for him. Yeah, they made the playoffs a couple times. I don't think they've won very many games in the playoffs. So, it's gonna be interesting to see what happens to that in the offseason.
Another big thing with Cincinnati was Andy Dalton. He struggled majorly in this game.
He lost, one of the best receivers in the NFL in the first quarter. On the very first drive even, first pass attempt to A.J. Green got hurt. So, I'll kind of blame that, but at the same time, he said, basically 4 quarters of more chance to make plays happen, but, they didn't.
Yeah, he had 19 incompletions. So, you can put some of that blame because of losing A.J. Green. But in the end, they put up 12 points in the first half. So you think you would only get better as the game goes on. But I guess the Bills made the adjustment to shut them down. And you saw Cincinnati. They had a chance to have a winning drive at the end, but they couldn't finish it off. Then they had the Hail Mary at the end of the game. But, I think going forward, as far as it goes with A.J. Green being out, you're going to see them continue to struggle. And I don't see them going too much farther in the season.
Yeah.
But I think they should also rest Giovanni Bernard. I don't think they should rush him back either.
No, he has torn ACL, so he's already out for the year.
Okay.
So, it's a pretty big loss for them. At least they have Jeremy Hill, I guess, which is another starting caliber running back. But honestly, probably the reason why the Bengals lost this game is the mixed extra points. They missed 2 on the first 2 touchdowns. If they would have made those, they'd have been down by 14. Fourth quarter, they had the last drive of the game. They're at the Buffalo 27. That's just about a 45-yard field goal. Makeable for an NFL kicker. So if Mike Nugent would have made those 2 extra points at the beginning of the game, Bengals could have won this game. Honestly,
you make those win this game, you only have game back in the division.
Yeah, exactly.
You're talking about keeping your season alive.
Yeah.
But one game difference can do.
Yeah, exactly. That's a major killer for the team. Probably a huge momentum stopper, or I guess momentum killer, I guess.
That was another big storyline yesterday's day. Was all the missed extra points.
Yeah, I think there was like 12, NFL record.
Record high of 12 missed extra points, which came out to be a pretty big thing in a couple of those games.
Yeah, it did. So I mean, yeah, I'm glad that they moved back to extra point though, just because it's not just an automatic 1 point anymore.
Well, you saw yesterday makes a big difference.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, that was pretty big. So the rule change is clearly, making an impact. So that's a good thing to see. For the NFL, I think. But I mean, we should probably talk about the Bills. I mean, they won the game, 5-5 at this point in the season. Tyrod Taylor, he played okay. I mean, he didn't play all that good. 166 yards and an interception. This game was just a low-scoring game. Wasn't very many points put up by either team. So, there wasn't really much of a big difference for why the Bills won. I mean, both teams played pretty much the same. Stat-wise for the most part. So
yeah, Bills got ahead early and they just used the clock. I mean, you see it with the running game.
Yeah.
I mean, Taylor only had 27 passes. Then you see total rushing. There was
34.
34 rushing, 34 carries. So right there, you see more rushing attempts than passing attempts. You see multiple guys in there in the rushing game. With McCoy going out after a couple carries, you see Geasley get 14 carries, 72 yards, and then Williams, Harvin, Felton, and Taylor all had carries in this game. So they want to make that key part of this game.
Yeah, and I mean that's probably the reason why they won. They had 183 total rushing yards. So some of that right there alone is going to waste a lot of clock for your team. So I would say that's the reason why they won. But not really sure what happened to LeSean McCoy exactly.
I think he did something with his thumb. He might have broke his thumb.
Yeah, it was his left thumb. But he's expected to play that in the upcoming game. So that's a plus for the team. It's going to be interesting, if he actually does play. If he goes through practice, feels good. Because, if he doesn't feel good, you don't play him, I think, in my opinion, just because, he's LeSean McCoy and he's still, pretty good running back in the league. And, it's not like Gilsley is a bad backup running back at all. He was pretty effective, 14 carries, 72 yards. He's a pretty good running back in his own right, so.
Yeah, obviously losing McCoy would be a big loss, but I think you've seen already this year, McCoy's gone down a couple times in games. And, Geasley stepped up right in, and he's done a very nice job. So either way, obviously you'd rather McCoy out there, but I think even if McCoy ends up not playing this weekend, you still can be successful in the rushing game.
Gilsley has 326 yards and 4 touchdowns on 56 carries. He's getting the work. Clearly, his work's going to be lowered because of LeSean McCoy being there. But he's a pretty promising player. He's shown signs of being a very good running back. And so if they did, have to rest McCoy, they can feel pretty confident with Gilsley back there. So,
what's his rushing? How many yards does he average per carry? That's a major. For a backup, I think that's a big stat that I like to look at. So I think
it's on the season it's 5.8.
So that's pretty good average.
Yeah.
So I think, like we said, obviously you'd rather McCoy out there, but with Geasley you can do just as well in the run game.
Yeah, they did have to. You have to. You can rest McCoy, feel comfortable with it. The teams, the Bills, struggling still, all season, losing Sammy Watkins to an injury in the first couple of weeks. So something that's clearly affecting them in the passing game. Tyrod Taylor doesn't have, very many passing yards because, maybe because of the injury. I'm assuming it is. That's just, what I think. He has not even eclipsed 2,000 yards in the season. His most passing yards in a game was 297. He's only had, 4 games over 200 passing yards in the 10 games that they've played. So, that tells you a little bit about their offense. They like to clearly run the ball more. So, that's kind of killing them, I think, their inability to pass the ball efficiently. So, that's just how got to hurt them down the road, I think.
Yeah, it's a major problem with the Bills. I think their defense is good enough to make a playoff run. but their offense struggled. And like you said, Watkins is out. So that's a key loss. And I mean, like we were saying with A.J. Green being out in Cincinnati, without your leading receiver, it's going to hurt the quarterback, and it's obviously shown in their passing game. But I think it also has somewhat a factor has to do with how good McCoy's done. How good McCoy's done so far this year, and being able to just have a solid, consistent rushing game.
I mean, if he was healthy and most of the year, he could even lead the league in rushing right now. Because he missed a couple games, he's also knocked out of a couple games. I mean, he could lead the league in rushing right now if he didn't get hurt. So.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So,
Absolutely.
I mean, like, you don't know how the game flow would go, but I mean, that's just what I'm saying. But yeah.
Moving on, we'll go to the Arizona Cardinals at Minnesota Vikings game, as the Vikings beat the Cardinals 30-24. Did the Vikings save their season?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, I think that they win the division. Judging off what I've seen from them, I mean, they have really good defense. I mean, it's all down to their offense, obviously. I mean, it's just hard to tell right now, just because Lions are playing really good at this point. I mean, Packers, who knows if they're going to make the playoffs? I don't think they will at this point. I mean, their defense is very, very poor. I mean, they have no corners backs. I mean, everyone's getting hurt for them. They have so many injuries on defense. I mean, the ones that are playing right now just are not doing all that great for them. So that's killing them. And I think that because of that, it's going to be a race between the Lions and Redskins. I think they're both 6-4 right now, or the Lions 7-3.
Well, the Lions, if they win the division, they get the home game. But
they're 6-4. So yeah, I mean, they're both 6-4 right now. Lions already beat them head to head. So I mean, they have the leg up right now, but they still have one more game to play between the two. I think they play on Thanksgiving. I think that's the first game of the Thanksgiving Day games. Is that yes. They do play at 11:30 in the morning. So I mean, everyone's that one can honestly win the division. I mean, that's going to give them the better division record, and also the better record overall. So that's going to be huge, I think.
Yeah, it's going to be a big game for them. Obviously, like you were saying, division. I mean, then whoever loses, that's 5 losses. So
I mean, that could honestly knock them out of playoff contention unless they can get a wild card seed.
Yeah, I mean, whoever wants the wild card, I mean, on Thanksgiving, everyone's going to be cheering for the Cowboys because, I mean, with wild card team getting 4 losses, you're going to need the Redskins to lose. And honestly, that tie in the long run could end up really helping Washington out because, I mean, that saves them from that 1 loss and keeps them a half game above everybody with 4 or 5 losses. So it's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out with that tie and stuff. And, I mean, like you said, I think that win saved the Viking season. The defense saved that game with that interception for a touchdown. That was a rough play by Carson Palmer. They missed that, especially
on the goal line.
Actually, yeah, it was the goal line.
It was something like that. And it was the goal line. They right to Xavier Rhodes and took 100 yards.
Yeah, 100 yards back.
So that was pretty
Vikings
huge.
Franchise record. I
and
think
they also had a kickoff return at the beginning of the second half. So I mean, special teams played so defense and special teams played pretty good this game. Pretty much won the Vikings the game.
So yeah, there's 14 points right there from that. I mean, then you get 16 from the offense. But like, offense struggling. You have Bradford only throw for 169 yards. Your leading rusher was 44 yards. And then, I mean, you had, like you said, the 2 non-offensive touchdowns that really saved this team. So I think if Vikings want to win this division, you got to have offense. And that's what's going to bring an interesting matchup on Thanksgiving is the Lions' great offense against the Vikings defense, and then the Vikings struggling offense against the bad Lions defense. But then as far as the Cardinals go, I think so far a very disappointing season for Arizona because a lot of people picking them to go far in the playoffs, possibly Super Bowl contenders, and then you're here with 4-5-1 record. I mean, Johnson's been there all season, 103 yards and a touchdown. I mean, Carson Palmer's had his up and downs, like that interception we already said. So that's a struggle for him. So big thing with Arizona is the turnovers, and then I think the defense has been struggling most of the year. Like, defense has given up not 19 points a game, so I guess the defense has been doing better than I thought they were. So I don't know what the struggle there is, because I mean you're scoring 22, game only giving up 19, and you have a losing record. I think it's just some of the decisions by some of the players, probably turnovers killing the most. So we'll see how they are going forward.
Yeah, I mean, they're kind of an up and down team. I mean, I don't see them make the playoffs at this point. I think Seattle wins that division. I don't think Cardinals can go on a good enough run to make to get the playoff or wild card. To get one of them to get one of the wild card seeds. So I think that's like killer to them. They have the offense to make it run. I mean, they have David Johnson, fantastic running back, one of the best in the league, obviously. It's a passing. I mean, Carson Palmer has very little time to take plays. If you were watching the game, he had no time at all. Like a couple seconds after the ball was snapped, not even a second. They're getting pressured. I think I saw Carson Palmer hit like 3 times. Which, you cannot have that for if you're an offensive line, you got to do a lot better than that. That was really, really killer to them. That's could be why they lost. You just can't have that and win a game. Vikings had 4 sacks on the day, and also 5 pass deflections. That's helping them out too. And so the offensive line clearly needs help, or clearly needs to get better because you're not going to win very many games whenever you let your quarterback get hit. 20 plus times. You're not going to win very many games if you do that. Because Carson Palmer can be an effective quarterback. He just doesn't have the time, I think, right now. So.
Yeah, especially at his age, you don't want to get him hit too much before he gets hurt. But
he's been hurt before. He's been hurt quite a few times in his career. He's 36 right now. He's more injury prone now because he's older. So, you really have to limit the amount of hits he's taken.
Honestly, I think the biggest thing with them is consistency because the numbers show that they should be better than a 4-win team. Only giving up 19 yards or 19 points a game is pretty impressive too. So, I think it's just the inconsistency that they have.
Yeah, like I said, I just don't see them making the playoffs just because Seattle, I think, is gonna win that division, and then wild card seed, toss up, I guess, at this point.
Yeah, at this point, it looks like you're gonna have the division winners. NFC East team, maybe 2, and then if only one NFC East team, then probably an NFC North team would be my guess between the Vikings, Lions, and Packers.
Yeah, and right now, put the Vikings in the playoffs. I think that they're better than the Lions at this point, just because they have a really good defense. Lions team is good, but it's not it's not on level with the Vikings. So.
And it's all gonna be interesting to see how it all comes down to the playoff because you have, just the way tiebreakers will situate. You have right now 6-4 Vikings and Lions are 1 game up on the Eagles. So I think the Eagles are in 8th in the NFC. So they're a game behind the Vikings who are 7th. So I think between that, if they were to pass the Redskins, if you have the Vikings win the division, the Eagles would lose the tiebreaker to the Lions. But if the Lions win, the Eagles win the tiebreaker against the Vikings. So it'll be interesting to see how that all plays out.
Yeah, and Vikings, still need help on offense, losing Adrian Peterson, Teddy Bridgewater. Teddy Bridgewater is obviously out for the year. The nasty, knee injury he suffered in practice before the season started. So, Adrian Peterson, he might return. The Vikings are hopeful that he can return early December. I don't know if that's going to happen. That's just what they're, hoping for from Peterson. Light workload, obviously, whenever he comes back. So it's going to be interesting to see, if he does come back at the end of the season, help them do clinch a playoff berth. Or, even return for first round of the playoffs. Could, even if they wanted to go that route, let them rest the entire regular season, bring it back for the playoffs, if they do make it. So, that's something to think about for them, I guess, at this point. Because, I don't, when do you get her, week 1 or week 2, something like that?
Week 2. Yeah,
week 2. So, what's been almost, it's been 9 weeks since the injury. So, it takes, I think it's a 2 or 3 month or 3 or 4 month recovery period. So, it's been, almost 3. So, it's going to be interesting to see what they do with that situation. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, too, because it seems like they have a little more favorable schedule than some other teams might. Obviously you have the big game this week against Detroit, and then you have a very tough game against the Cowboys, but after that, you have a losing record Jaguars team, losing record Colts team, losing record Packers team, then a losing record Bears team. So if they can, if they could possibly, just say they split these next 2 weeks, go into week 14 with a 6-6 record, and then, or to be 7-5 record, then you would have 4 or 5, maybe not easy, but favorable winnable games, and you win those at least, and then maybe say 1 loss, and you can come out of the season with 5-6 losses and win that division.
I mean, so yeah, it's really interesting to see what they do with that because I mean, Vikings have been pretty consistent all year. I feel like, well, I guess on the first first 5 games, but I mean, 4 after that, they won a 4-game losing streak. I mean, it was pretty disappointing to see them do that just because they played great all year up to those 4 games. So I mean, it was good for them to win. I mean, it was a desperately needed win. I mean, I think if they would have lost the game, I mean, honestly, they could have lost the division. Just because I think that the Lions would be a game ahead, so that'd be pretty killer for them. But I mean, at this point, I think Cardinals season is over. I've said that a couple times. I mean, I think that it's over for them. I mean, I just see them making a run, passing up Seattle, or maybe even getting a wild card. And I mean, it's pretty disappointing to see just because they do have a lot of talent. I mean, they just have a lot of injuries this year. I feel like, well, not a lot. I mean, just like a few on the defense. Tyrann Mathieu, he's out a few more weeks. So I mean, that's pretty killer to the defense. But I mean, I just think they need another weapon on offense. I mean, they need another receiver. I think for him because Larry Fitzgerald's on the back end of his career. I mean, he's already 33. He's not as productive as what he used to be. He's still a pretty good receiver, but I mean, other than that, I mean, you just have people really making plays. I mean, Michael Floyd. I mean, he's a pretty big guy. He's just not productive. I feel like. I mean, 6'2", 222. He's just not been productive all year. I mean, I just think they need another receiving weapon for the team.
See, I don't think the receivers is their problem. Just because, I mean, Fitzgerald is on the back end of his career, but he's still a very talented receiver. Then Floyd and Brown are a good mix with him. So I think there was fine receiving core, running backs there. I think the more important thing for them is just, I don't know, come together as a team and start playing consistently because I think that's one of the major issues, maybe not playing as a team. And I think that could go back to the coaching because you have to have your players ready every game, week in and week out. So, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't see Bruce Arians getting fired at all. I mean, he's a fantastic coach. I mean,
I don't think he should be fired.
But I mean, I think he's in the hospital right now.
I did read that.
Like collapsed lung. No,
I didn't hear what exactly.
No.
I heard chest pains. I think.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, chest pain. So, I mean, it's gonna be interesting to see if he's going to be good enough to coach this week. I don't know how long he's going to play in the hospital for. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with that, as the week goes through practices. It's going to be different having, different coach leading them in practice. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do with that. I mean, could hurt the chance to win this week, honestly. So,
no, I mean,
to be honest, what's going to happen with that situation. But, we're just going to see how it all plays out for them.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully he's all right, and we'll see how well he bounces back. But I wouldn't be surprised if he misses a game here or there.
Yeah,
But it's where the assistant coaches have to step up, and we'll see what they can do.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know who they're playing this weekend, but whether
they're playing the Cardinals. Never mind. I thought you said the Vikings. Yeah, go on.
But I think the Cardinals have. I think the talent's there, like we've been saying. So.
Yeah, they play the Falcons, which is going to be a really tough game, I think.
It's going to be a tough game. I think Cardinals have the defense to stop the Falcons, honestly. Falcons, you've seen some struggles lately, but we'll see going forward.
Yeah. We're going to move on to the Eagles-Seahawks game. Eagles played good. I think at one point they were up 7-6, right?
Yeah, they were.
They scored the touchdown, and then, Seattle just took off from there. A nice little trick play with Doug Baldwin throwing a touchdown to Russell Wilson, 15 yards. But this was, pretty big game for the Eagles and Seahawks. And Seahawks defense really got to Carson Wentz and really pressured him a lot. Forced him to throw some very bad passes. Gave him very little time to, do anything. So that was pretty killer to their team. Seahawks defense is looking good, probably the best in the league. Besides maybe the Vikings, but Seahawks have had a good defense for the past few years, so they're continuing that. And I saw that all their core players like Richard Sherman, Earl Thomas, Michael Bennett, all those good guys are locked in through to the 2017 season and beyond. So that's pretty big for them to lock up those good defensive players. Probably one of the best defense the next couple of years, like they were to do. So that's pretty good for them. The Eagles I mean, like a lot of people expected them to, really struggle this game, and they clearly did. Um, Dropped a lot of passes again. Um, so I mean, that was clearly deflating to them, deflating to their confidence. So that was pretty rough for them to see. And they also went down a couple of injuries. Aaron Sproles and Ryan Matthews both got knocked out of the game. They went to locker room at halftime and never came back out. So I mean that was pretty bad for them. I mean, Dorrell Green Beckham, I think, did he get his first touchdown or did he have one in the year?
I think he had one.
Yeah, he did already have one.
So I think it's the second of the year.
Yeah, but I mean, this is clearly his best game. 5 catches, 54 yards, and a touchdown. I mean, he was expected to do a lot more for this team. So I mean, I guess it was good. Good to see him get a touchdown. From an Eagles perspective, but I mean, he traded this team. He expected to be a fantastic pickup for him. I mean, he hasn't really done anything all year if you think about it. I mean, he just has 23 catches, 248 yards, and 2 touchdowns. I mean, he just has to be more productive for this team, I think, and be the number one. But I mean, I'm curious to see where you sit on Green Beckham right now at this point in the season.
I think the problem with Green Beckham is they waited till so late to trade for him. He didn't know the playbook, and I think this acquisition's more for next year. I think you'll see his true talent in the system would be next year. So I'm excited for what he can do next year. I think up until maybe last week or a week before that, maybe I think was where you saw a big problem with him not knowing the playbook well enough. Now he's starting to learn it. I think he's still learning it a little bit. I mean, I think honestly, I'm not happy with his performance. He's already saying he wants more touches, and he's not happy with the way they've targeted him in games. And honestly, I know he finished the game with 5 catches and a touchdown, but how many of those yards were garbage time yardage, and it was a garbage time touchdown? I mean, at the point where he scored that touchdown, the game was pretty much over at that point. And honestly, I was disappointed with the way the Eagles played in this game. I thought they came out very flat. I mean, as far as the defense came out strong, struggled towards the end. The offense was flat all day. Especially, I mean, like you said, drop passes killed him again. Nelson Aguilar dropped a wide open pass across the middle. Would have had plenty of yardage after it as well, and he dropped that, so that changed the whole game. You had him get the penalty where we scored on like a 70-yard touchdown or something like that, and Aguilar was illegal formation on Aguilar, so touchdown got called back. So I think major problems start with the receivers in this game, I mean, they struggled all day. I think once you saw his true rookie form in this game, he struggled all day. And then, like you said earlier, the injuries to Matthews and Sproles were key. But I mean, I don't know. I felt like the Eagles played really bad in this game, and the Seahawks I think the Seahawks showed why not only they're the better team than the Eagles, but one of the best teams in the NFL right now. And it also comes with Seattle starting to get healthy, starting to get everybody back. But
I mean, they dropped Christian Michael at the beginning of the week. It's kind of, or I guess, yeah, it was at the beginning of the week. It was just kind of a questionable move by them. I don't know if I really agree with that move, but I mean, C.J. Proside played really well. I mean, he had that, I think, 72-yard rushing touchdown. I mean, other than that, he didn't do all that much. I think he got hurt though at some point.
Yeah, he did.
At like halftime, he was another player that didn't come out at halftime. So I mean, Pete Carroll said after the game he's going to be out for a while. Quotation marks around the while. So I mean, he could be out a couple weeks. Could be killer to them because Thomas Rawls come back from an injury. He already had 40 carries this game. I mean, you want to limit his workload right now just because he's come back from an injury. I mean, you want to give him more time to heal. But I mean, they're going to have to play him next week in their games. So I mean, something that could be killer. I mean, if he got hurt, their backup would be Troymaine Pope. It was a practice squad guy. His first game, first carries this week. So I mean, something that could be close to them if Thomas Rawls does get hurt. Could pretty much destroy the running game after that. So I mean, that's pretty close to them. But I don't know about the Eagles running backs with Matthews and Sproles, but I don't think their injuries were too serious. So I don't know if you heard anything about them. Are they gonna be able to play this week?
I think they're both questionable. I know Sproles I think he cracked his ribs, so I would say he's more likely to be out this weekend than to play. And then Ryan Matthews is knee, he's day to day, so we'll see.
Yeah,
but ribs can always be a serious injury, so we'll see when they come out with a full update on that. But honestly, he's been struggling all year. But another key injury is Vaitai on the offensive line. He got hurt. He can't remember what the exact injury was, but now he's down. So you're down. I mean, you already have Lane Johnson suspended till week 15 or 16. I can't remember. So now you have down both those same guy or same spot. You're down the first two string guys. So now I don't know who's going to replace him, but it's going to be another key loss, especially in the near future.
I mean, that's going to be cool. I mean, offensive line is everything in the NFL. I mean, you see that with the Cowboys. I mean, they have a great offensive line. You see how much success they're having. I mean, you look at a team like the Browns. They have a very weak offensive line. I mean, you know what they're doing 0-11 right now. So I mean, offensive line is pretty key to the NFL. We said that last week how the offensive line is the most important position besides the QB. I mean, and that's going to be clear in the upcoming weeks for the Eagles. Carson Wentz could have less time now without Vaitai. I mean he was playing pretty good as a rookie, filling in for Lane Johnson. Right? He filled in for Lane Johnson, didn't he?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I mean him going down, they're going to resort to the third string guy. I mean maybe even we might move someone over. Maybe Jason Pierce moving over, putting different right tackle, something like that. I mean, not really sure they're going to do that with that situation. So I mean that's going to be clear to their offense. But I mean, the worst part about the offense is the drops passes. I mean, if they would, just catch a couple more balls each game, they could, be 7-3 at this point. I mean, they dropped one against the Cowboys, or dropped, a few. One of the Jordan Matthews would have been on the 5-yard line. They could have scored right there. I mean, Eagles could have easily beat the Cowboys that game. They not drop balls. So I mean, that has been the story of the Eagles season so far, as drop passes. And I mean, you're clearly seeing how much it's affecting them 5-5 at this point. I mean, 1-5 on the road, not very good. So I mean, I don't even see them make the playoffs at this point, just because they have very limited passing game and running game. It's probably gonna take a hit with Sproles getting an injury, and then the offensive line gonna start struggling a little bit more. So I mean, it sucks for an Eagles fan perspective. So.
Yeah, I mean, without, like you're saying, the drop passes, I mean, shockingly, they're 9th in the league. I would expect them to be top three or four in the NFL in drop passes. But I mean, I'm surprised to see them only with 14 drop passes on the year.
I feel like that's not very accurate.
Yeah.
I think just like passes thrown on target to where they're catched. Which still feels like a lot more, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to figure out. This is according to the Washington Post. I mean, I assume it was updated weekly, but we'll see. I don't know when the last time it was updated, but
yeah, that's what we say.
Redskins only have 3, which I don't know about that. But
yeah, I mean, the point is they don't have, they've dropped a lot of passes all year, and I mean it's killing them so far. I mean, watching their games. My roommate, he's an Eagles fan. I just watched it and I just feel bad for him just because, every game you see 3 or 4 drop passes by Aguilar and Jordan Matthews and killer in offense. It just sucks for them just because, they're wide open opportunities to make plays, so.
And that's what's most frustrating. It's like, I feel like the Eagles are right there because if they had a receiving core that wouldn't drop so many passes, like you said, they could have I think definitely 1 win, maybe 2. 2 more wins. I think you said 7 wins earlier.
Yeah.
But I think that's the thing. I think the defense has played well enough to win some of these games. And I think you have the receivers catch a pass, keep the offense on the field, and like you see with the Cowboys, the less the defense on the field, the better they can be. And I think you have that. Maybe some of those touchdowns they've let up don't score. So I don't know. I think you have receivers that consistently catch the ball, you would be a lot better off.
If they had one star wide receiver besides Jordan Matthews and Green Beckham, I think that'd be a lot better. If they had a guy, maybe talent level like Dez Bryant, someone like that. But I'm not saying like that. If they just had one more, good receiver, get rid of, Nelson Aguilar, because I think he's, pretty bad in my opinion. I know I'm being a little bit harsh, but all I've seen from this year is just drop passes. So
that's exactly it.
So I'm not really impressed with them. Honestly, if Eagles cut it somewhere, I would not be surprised. I'm not blaming the Eagles whatsoever.
I think
they decided to do that.
I think he's on his way to get benched this week. They signed somebody off their practice.
Yeah, they did.
They signed Paul Turner off their practice squad, and already said he's gonna be playing this week. So I think Aguilar is already on his way. I don't know about being out, but being benched this week.
And
I think
they got to do something about him. Honestly, they kind of not be surprised at all at this point.
It's not even the drop passes. It's like I said
He
earlier.
hasn't really done that much.
You have the penalty that cost the Eagles a touchdown. You had them execute. I think it was a 3rd and short. Executed perfectly to I think Ertz. Ertz ran it for a touchdown. And it gets called back because Aguilar wasn't in the right formation. So I think that's just, and you saw the wide receiver coach screaming at him on the sideline. So I think everyone's on the team's getting frustrated too. And honestly, I don't remember the exact quote, but Malcolm Jenkins, the Eagles safety, called Aguilar out on it after the game. I think he said something like, "You think you'd be able to be lined up right," or something like that. So I mean, I don't know what the stance is in the locker room with them, but to me that shows that the locker room is not even on the right terms with him.
I mean, I would not either if I was playing for the Eagles. I'd be pretty disappointed in his production, just because he was a promising young rookie last year. I mean, he did decent this year. I mean, he was expected to be a lot better, but I mean, it just looks like he's just scared to catch the ball, to get hit. I mean, I think that you said that a couple weeks ago. He was scared. He's just like scared to get hit. It seems like so. I mean, it's clearly hurting his offense. His presence right now. Not really his presence, a little bit harsh, but I mean, just his production in general has just been very weak all year, I think.
Yeah,
I think it's really starting to affect him.
I mean, that's the biggest concern for me is wide receiver core. And that's what you need to find out how to do it, how to go off that and improve that.
Yeah.
And save the season. I mean, you have the game against the Packers next week, so we'll see how they bounce back. So I mean,
could be a difficult game.
Honestly, Monday night Packers Eagles, that's a must win for both teams if they want to stay in the playoff hunt.
Yeah. But I mean, Seahawks, we probably talk about them a little bit. They won the game though. I mean, they played very good this game. They did what most people expected them to do, which was win the game, and they did. I mean, I already mentioned Doug Baldwin's touchdown pass, but I mean, Doug Baldwin's played great all year. I mean, he's quietly top 10, top 15 wide receiver in the NFL. I mean, he's played great all year. He went undrafted out of Stanford 6 years ago. I mean, he's been flat out productive this year. I mean, no one really looks at Doug Baldwin just because Seahawks are known for more of a ground and pound kind of game. And he played good. I mean, he only had 4 catches, 104 yards. I mean, he's just been flat out productive. I mean, he's a great deep threat. He has 13 yards per catch. And I mean, that's pretty productive if you ask me. I mean, I think that he's played great all year. So I mean, I just think that got to get him more involved, which they are. Jeremy Grant's been playing good the past few weeks. He had a touchdown this game, like 20 yards. I'm not really sure exactly how much it was. So I mean, it's good for the Seahawks to see him get it rolling. 3 catches, 46 yards. Tyler Lockett played good, 2 catches, 39 yards. But I mean, it's good to see Doug Baldwin and Jimmy Graham, being productive for him. I mean, like I said earlier, the running game is going to take a hit with Prozai getting hurt and likely out a couple weeks. That's what according to Pete Carroll. And Thomas Rawls come back from an injury, so I mean it's going to be interesting to see what happens to that. If he gets hurt again, they're going to be very hard for them to find the production running back if Thomas Rawls out. So it's gonna be really interesting to have the Seahawks the next couple of weeks in the running game.
Yeah, I think now, especially with Kyle Michael, that probably regret that now with him.
Yeah, I would too.
Now, but I think, like I've said before, the Seahawks have the best defense in the NFL, and I think you saw that in this game. I think it's definitely going to carry them to at least the NFC Championship, maybe farther, especially assuming they hold on, get the bye week in the first week, and then get the home playoff game. We'll see how they play out with the Cowboys, who gets the home field advantage throughout. But I think they proved in this game when the offense is getting healthy again. Russell Wilson looked like his old self, scrambling, being able to throw on the run. I think this team is probably the most dangerous with the Cowboys in the NFL.
Right and that's another thing. You mentioned the health of Russell Wilson. That's clearly been factored in the past couple of weeks. After he got hurt, I mean, he was struggling to make plays with his feet. And I mean, you saw the past couple games last week against the Patriots. I mean, he was extending plays. I mean, he's been doing the past couple games what he's done the past couple seasons. I think that's why they just beat the Patriots and they just beat the Eagles. So I mean things are going great for the Seahawks. I mean, also put him second best. So I don't know, probably third at this point. I mean, I'm just gonna be biased to say I think Cowboys are the best team, but I mean, the defense still worries me. But then I'll put the Patriots, Seahawks, and then the roundup top 5 probably I mean, probably the Raiders. I would still put in there. I still like them and what they're doing. Maybe the Broncos or the Chiefs. I mean, they play Sunday night. This upcoming Sunday. So I mean, whoever wins that one, I would put in my top 5. So I mean, it's gonna be very interesting to see what happens to that game. But I mean, yeah, I mean that's all my top 5. I mean, is yours pretty much the same for the most part?
In order, I would say my number 1 would be Seahawks. 2 would be Cowboys. 3 would be the Patriots. 4 would be the Raiders. And then to round out my top 5, I'd probably say I think I have to take the Chiefs as my number 5. I mean, a very disappointing loss to the Buccaneers this weekend. But I think they did win the head-to-head matchup against Denver last time, right?
Yeah. Wait, Chiefs?
No, I don't think they played each other yet.
I thought they had.
Yeah, just this week. Never mind, this week's first one.
Okay.
So, I mean, I think the 5th spot's honestly up for grabs. I don't know. You have, I mean, between the Chiefs, Broncos, you have a lot of 7-3 teams there, 6-4 teams. So I think the top 4 is pretty much set with those 4. You can put it in whatever order you want.
And then 5 be
Then
rotating.
honestly, 5th is, I mean, depending on who you are and who passes your eye test. But I mean, honestly, Giants are 7-3. Maybe they have top offense. If Eli Manning can just continue to play well, he's playing. I mean, honestly, 5th's up for grabs. But I think I might give the edge to the Chiefs.
Yeah. So yeah, that just gives you guys our feelings on the top 5. You know. So yeah, I mean, the upcoming one will probably be Cowboys last week. So I'm assuming they'll say first since they won. Probably them. Probably Seahawks. I think it was like Cowboys, Seahawks, Patriots. Top 3.
I think that stays just because
Yeah, I do too.
Patriots head-to-head.
Yeah, and then I think the bottom 2 were like, I think the Raiders were in it.
The Raiders have to be in it, I feel like.
Yeah, and then I think the other team was like maybe I want to say like the Chiefs or it might have been the Falcons. I'm not sure exactly, but I know those were at least the 4 out of the 5 teams. But yeah, I mean it's gonna be interesting. I think they come out, early this week, so we're gonna see what happens to that. But we're gonna move on to our picks for Week 12, Thanksgiving week. Should be a really good day of football. Got a lot of good games. 2 division games. One game's probably high scoring. But first game of Thanksgiving, 11:30 Central Time is going to be Vikings at the Lions. I mean, whoever wins this game, I think wins the division. Because I mean, if the Lions win, then they have 2 wins on the Vikings. That's really going to help out. If the Vikings win, then they're tied head to head. So I think that's going to be huge. This one is on the road though. This one Vikings are on the road. The first one they're at home. And I mean, so it's going to be very tough for them. But I think at this point, I'm going to have to pick the Vikings this one. I know I picked the Vikings last time. I think this time to get the revenge. I think that their defense plays well enough to win. I think the offense, is productive because I don't think the Lions have that great of a defense. I mean, so I think the Vikings win this one in a very, very close game.
I'm going to have to agree with you. I'm going to pick Vikings as well. I think the defense wins this game. But I think it's going to start with the defense shutting down the Lions' offense more. And then going forward, I think you're going to have to see where the offense takes them. But I definitely think Vikings win this one.
And then you have the afternoon game. Redskins at the Cowboys. Cowboys got the win. Week 2 is what it was? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it was week 2. So I mean, this one, Cowboys are at home. I mean, I would take the Cowboys in this one. I love what I'm seeing from the offense. Dak Prescott, Zeke Elliott, making plays as Bryant's coming around. Jason Wynn's been playing good for his age. Terrence Williams, did good. Bryce Butler had 2 very good catches, very difficult catches in the most recent game against the Ravens. So I mean, it's really good to see that. I mean, Redskins are good. And I mean, if they won the game, I'll be that surprised just because their offense has been very good the past couple of weeks. Jordan Reed, Ryan Kelly played very good this week. He had 3 touchdowns, and 100+ yards. So that was pretty big for them. But yeah, I'm gonna take the Cowboys in this one. I mean, I just love what I'm seeing, like what I said. And I mean, I just think that they get the win in this one.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Cowboys in this game as well. I think Redskins come in this game on a roll, playing very good football right now. but I think overall home game for Dallas, Thanksgiving, they're used to playing in this big spotlight.
Yeah.
I think Cowboys take this.
Yeah, and this one marks the 50th year in a row they've played on Thanksgiving, the Cowboys. So I mean, pretty cool. Pretty cool to be consider myself a fan of a franchise played on pretty big holiday. In America. So I mean, it's pretty cool to see. From my perspective, I mean, that's just me. I mean, I don't know, how other fans feel about that, but I mean, that's just how I feel. I just think it's a pretty cool occurrence how it happens every year. Cowboys be playing on Thanksgiving. So yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. The night game, I mean, should be a shootout. Steelers at the Colts. I mean, I think, like what I said, it's gonna be a high scoring shootout game. I think Steelers win this one just because Colts defense isn't that great. I think Steelers defense is decent. I mean I think they'll play well together. I think the Steelers offense plays great. I think Antonio Brown has a really good day. I think Le'Veon Bell has a really good day. I mean Le'Veon Bell's coming off a game where he had 200 total yards and touchdown. I mean, very impressive. He got his first touchdown of the year, so that was pretty cool to see. And I think the Steelers win this one.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Pittsburgh in this game as well. I think Ben Roethlisberger and Antonio Brown find a connection, especially against his weak Colts secondary and offense. Weak secondary and their defense. I think the offensive line continues to struggle for the Colts, and Steelers defense pounds through the line to keep it somewhat of a mismatch in that sense. And I think Steelers win this one. I think they start pulling away towards the end, 1-10.
And then we're gonna move on to the Sunday games. You got Tennessee at the Bears. Bears don't have Alshon Jeffrey out for another 3 more weeks. I mean, I'm gonna feel the edge Titans this one. I think Marcus Mariota, DeMarco Murray have a pretty good game.
Yeah, I think I'll take the Titans as well in this game. I mean, I think you saw Bears struggles yesterday against the Giants. They couldn't hold on for that win, and you'll see it continue in this game without Jeffrey, like you said.
Next thing we got Jaguars at the Bills. Jaguars have struggled all year. They were expected to be, an improved team from last year. And I just don't think they've found it yet. So I think the Bills win this one. Even if McCoy doesn't play, I'm still going to take the Bills. So
I'll take the Bills as well. Jaguars continue to struggle. I don't think you see them play a complete game yet this year, and Bills' defense can help them win this game.
Division game, Bengals at the Ravens. Bengals, this will be the first count that A.J. Green and Giovanni Bernard. I think I'm gonna take the Ravens in this one. Just because Bengals have so many injuries, I just don't see them having the offensive firepower, to score on the Ravens' really good defense.
Yeah, Bengals are too beat up in this game. I mean, I think they have some injuries on defense as well, so Ravens win this one kind of easy.
Yeah. Next one, we got the Cardinals at the Falcons. Should be a good game. Decent defense versus a pretty good offense. But I think when it's all said and done, I think the Falcons win. I think that their offense gets the better of the Cardinals this game just because Cardinals are a little bit banged up right now. And I think Julio Jones is a good game, even though Patrick Peterson. I mean honestly, Patrick Peterson, Julio Jones can be a very good matchup. I think. I think Julio Jones makes a couple good plays, and I think that Falcons win this one.
I think Arizona steals this game on the road. Honestly, I think they have the better defense in this game. I think the offense will be able to put up points against the weak Falcons defense, and if it turns into a shootout, I think Arizona can play with them. And with like you said, Peterson playing against Jones, I think if they find a way to shut him down a little bit, they win this game.
Next one, we got the Giants at the Browns. I just don't see the Browns winning right now, so Giants. So I'm to take.
Yeah, I think we said a couple weeks ago that this could be one Browns steal, but now that Cody Kessler's out, and Giants are playing really good football right now.
Yeah.
Giants take it.
So, I guess now that Kessler's out, I don't know when he's going to return. After this, they have the Bengals, which, honestly, they could win with all the injuries to the Bengals. So, do you see them winning that game possibly against the Bengals because of all the injuries?
They could, but, as far as Kessler's being out, I think that makes it more tough on them. So, right now, though, I think if I had to pick, I'd say they finish off 0-16.
Yeah, I would too.
Still want to say they steal a game. Somewhere.
Yeah, but, I just don't see it this one. They're just playing so bad. And I think that Joe Thomas and Terrell Pryor said earlier today that they are fed up with the front office because of the quarterback situation, or not the quarterback situation. It's just like their lack of ability to to protect the quarterback. I mean, and they got mad at the front offense for that. Saw that earlier. So
Good Terrell Pride of Philly.
I mean, they could use him, honestly. The next one, got the Rams at the Saints. Rams, Jared Goff, I mean, I'm assuming he's going to start. I don't know what's going to happen with that. So they played, past game, I think, what did they have, like 130-something yards, I think, or 160?
Like
So it was one of those two. It was just a little Deke and Duxville game. But, I mean, I think the Saints win. I think that their offense is really explosive, and, I mean, I just think the Rams are going to be able to keep up.
Yeah, I think you'll see the Rams struggle. I mean, they have a solid defense, but Drew Brees finds a way against that with the receiving core they have to put up points, and I think this turns into a blowout.
Yeah, I do too. The next one you have is the 49ers at the Dolphins. Dolphins are on a roll. What is it, like 4 in a row, 5 in a row?
Yeah.
One of those two. They're rolling right now. Yeah, 5 in a row. They're rolling right now. They're the home team. I'm gonna go upset. I don't know. I just have a feeling Colin Kaepernick has a pretty good game. So I'm gonna take the 49ers in this one. I like what I'm seeing from Kaepernick right now. Even though the whole situation with him right now. But I mean, I still think he's a pretty good quarterback. So I think that 49ers steal this one.
I'm going to take the Dolphins in this game. They're playing too well right now to pick against them, especially a team with the 49ers with only one win. I see Ryan Tannehill, the running game, continue their success. I mean, I can't see the Dolphins losing this game.
Next one, you have the Chargers at the Texans. Could be a good game. Kind of back and forth with this one. I think that the Texans win this one. They're the home team. Yeah, I just think they win. I think they have a good game on offense and defense, and I think they do a decent job of shutting down Melvin Gordon.
This is a really tough game. I'm leaning both ways. I think I'll give the Chargers the edge in this game. I think you see the Texans defense struggling at times. You saw it last week against the Jaguars. You saw Jaguars put up a couple touchdowns in that game. So I think, especially with the Chargers offense, they can find a way to score. And I think Texans offense continues to struggle with Brock Osweiler leading the team. Lamar Miller kind of beat up a little bit, so the running game struggling at times. I think Chargers find a way to win this game.
Then you have the Seahawks at the Buccaneers. Should be a decent game for both offenses. Well, I don't know about that. I mean I like what I'm seeing from Mike Evans. He had 100 receiving yards past this game, few catches. But I think the Seahawks win this one. But I think it's gonna be closer than most people expect. I can see it being within a touchdown in this one. But I'm gonna take the Seahawks in this one on the road.
I agree. I'm gonna take Seattle. I've said it before. I think they're the best team. So Russell Wilson and that defense will shut down Winston.
Pretty good game coming up. Panthers at the Raiders. I'm going to take the Raiders in this one. I like what I'm seeing from them still. I like how the offense is clicking right now. Defense is still playing pretty good. I think it gets a little bit underrated for defense. And I think they, play good this game. I think they do well at limiting Cam Newton's ability to run the ball and extend the play. So I think that the Raiders win.
Yeah, I think this game turns into a shootout, but I think the Raiders, with the better offense of being at home, Raiders win this one.
And then, this game could have been good at the beginning of the year. Patriots at the Jets, long-time rivalry the past, 5 or 6 years. The playoffs a couple times. I'll take the Patriots in this one. Jets are just, coming off a bye week. They had more time to prepare, but I just don't see them winning this one. Just because, Brian Fitzpatrick has played pretty bad all year. Defense hasn't done great at all. Joe Reeves has been burned quite a few times this year. I just don't see him, the Jets winning this game.
Yeah, Ryan Fitzpatrick's back in this game, and I think his struggles continue. Tom Brady will continue to dominate. Patriots win this one fairly easily.
Yeah, I agree. Then Sunday Night Football, you're going to have the Chiefs at the Broncos. This game could, pretty much decide who wins the division, possibly, or maybe even the wild card spot. This one's going to be a tough one. It's this first matchup, and they play again like week 17, I think is what it is. I'm going to take the Oh,
Want me to go first?
Yeah, go first.
I'm going to take Kansas City in this game. Coming off a very disappointing performance against Tampa Bay, I think they need a bounce-back win. I think they're able to find the way to bounce back in this game. You're going to see a battle of two really good defenses. I think it's going to be a very low-scoring affair, and I think the Chiefs find a way to take this game on the road.
Okay, that helps. Okay, I'm gonna pick the Broncos. I mean, I like the Broncos defense. I think that the Kansas City offense is too inconsistent for my liking. I mean, they played the Bucks last week and only got, or I guess this most recent week, and they only had 17 points. I mean, you expect more from that from playing the Bucks. Not really good, defense. So yeah, I think I'm gonna take different this one. I think that they do a pretty good job of getting pressure on Alex Smith. I mean, Alex Smith has been known to be kind of turnover prone a little bit. So I'm gonna take the Broncos in this one. And yeah, so yeah, that's my opinion on that one. Monday Night Football game was the Eagles' second Monday Night Football game of the year.
Yes.
Where they played the Bears the first one, they won that one.
Yep.
First was like week 3, something like that, or week 2.
Week 2.
So yeah, I mean, Eagles already played Monday Night. Packers, I think it's the first game Monday Night Football. Actually, they might have played before. I'm not sure, but it's Packers at Eagles. This one could be good. I think Philadelphia's favored by 3.5 points in this one. Kind of surprised by that. I think the Packers win this one. I think that their offense has a good game. I mean, you saw what the Seahawks offense was able to do against the Eagles defense. I think Packers offense is a little bit more explosive than the Seahawks offense. So I think that Packers win this one on the road. But I think it's going to be a very close game. I mean, honestly, Eagles can win this one just because this Packers so beat up right now in defense. I mean, honestly, if the Eagles won, I wouldn't be surprised. But for what I've seen, I think I'm going to take the Packers in this one.
I would take the Eagles just because of how well they play at home. You see them. They beat the Browns. Obviously, beat the Browns, but they beat the Vikings at home. They beat the Steelers at home, and then they beat the Falcons at home. So I mean, they play very well at home, and the point differential was crazy at the way they play at home. And I think that continues in this game, especially with how beat up that Packers defense is. So I think the Eagles finally find a way to get the offense going once again. And the defense, I mean, they're going to struggle as well, but I think being at home is what gives them the edge.
So yeah, I mean, that gives you guys our Week 12 picks. Thanksgiving, so I mean, should be a very good week of football. Excited to watch those games. But yeah, I mean, that does it for the ANA show. I'm Austin Paul.
I'm Andrew Santangelo.
Check back next week, and we break down Week 12.